I am going to crash out as less than 24 hours after the Toronto Blue Jays missed out on Kyle Tucker. One of the Jays' only hopes was to get Bo Bichette in order to add another fantastic bat to the lineup, and they not only miss out on Bo Bichette, he goes to the New York Mets, the team that they were up against in the Kyle Tucker sweepstakes. He is no longer a Blue Jay. This team now has to pivot elsewhere, and I'm going to crash out. It has been an absolutely nightmarish last 12 to 24 hours for the Toronto Blue Jays. We're going to break down all the details because there are some crazy ones, including some wild contract details and Bo Bichette moving positions, folks. You're going to want to stay tuned to the end of this video. It is absolutely sickening, quite frankly, but I guess a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. I'm not even going to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button. This is just atrocious, and it has been really sad last, whatever it's been, 12 hours of, I woke up today, I was feeling pretty good. You can go out and get Bo Bichette, still make a really good year, and I still think they can, but let's dive into the details here. So, Ken Rosenthal, 9 minutes ago, Bichette is signing a deal with the New York Mets, first reported by Will Salmon. It's 3 years, $126 million a year with no deferrals, with opt-outs after years 1 and 2. And this is a monster contract. And what does it mean? All of a sudden, he's probably going to hit the free agency market next year again. If he has a great year, he's going to opt out, and maybe the Jays can try to get him next year, and we'll be having this conversation all over again. But for now, the main focus is, hey, he has a contract that is paying him over $40 million a year, folks. Over $42 million a year. Absolutely ludicrous amount of money. And we were thinking he was going to get, 8 years, 200, something like that. The Mets got desperate after missing out on Kyle Tucker, and it is crazy. You can see here, he got the Bregman deal, but with an extra $2 million a year for him. Good for him. See you back on the market next winter. And that is the most likely outcome here, is that he hits the market next winter. But we have to watch him play alongside Marcus Semien, one of his great friends from his time in Toronto, and I'm sure that played a big factor in it. I'm going to dive into a bunch of different things, but this is a nightmare. Now, I'm going to have another video on what it means going forward for the Jays, because they're probably going to have to, maybe make a swing for Cody Bellinger. Maybe they're going to get somebody else. They'll make a trade, but it is crazy right now. $42 million a year. And I don't believe that if they got Kyle Tucker, the Mets, they would have made this offer for Bo Bichette. So maybe after all, him going to the Dodgers was worse than him going to the Mets, because the Mets, I don't want to say panic, but they probably panicked because they missed the playoffs last year, had an atrocious offseason up to this point. They get one of the best free agents available at a monster deal. But the deal, the money doesn't really matter. I would have been fine if the Jays paid this amount of money at the end of the day. There's opt-outs after year 1 and 2. There is a full no trade clause, by the way, included in this contract, just reported a minute ago from John Heyman. I wanted to wait a couple minutes till I made this video because details are still leaking out here, and I'm refreshing Twitter as we go. But it is, the Jays are, obviously we're talking about the Jays putting him at second base, all these different things, and him being a fantastic player for the Jays. I had this video yesterday, and people, Jays fans, this obviously Johnny here talking about how it didn't damage any relationship with Bo Bichette. You have people talking about the Jays getting Bo instead of Kyle Tucker. All eyes are now on Kyle Tucker, I guess, though I think he's going to return to the Yankees. The scary reality has slowly unfolded, and it is very, very unfortunate. Now, let's dive into a shocking report that just dropped here, a little bit random. Bichette is expected to play third base for the New York Mets. Third base, by the way, which I don't know if he has the capability. Maybe he does. No disrespect to Bo Bichette. He didn't look great at short. We don't really know how good he looked at second base. He's planning to play third base for the Mets. Now, the hot corner, it requires a strong arm. Does Bo Bichette have that? We can dive into it in this video. He's going to need a bit more range. They're putting him to third. They're saying, screw the defense. They want to have an elite infield. So, of course, you have Marcus Semien. And, I don't even, you have Lindor. I don't even know what to think about this right now, because, the contract yesterday was a big deflation of the, I guess the balloon, if you want to call it that. This one, I don't even know how to feel. I guess I'm in shock a little bit. I didn't think he was going to go to the Mets, quite frankly. I thought he was going to go almost surely to the Phillies. We had Ken Rosenthal reporting literally an hour ago and all morning that he would be flabbergasted, essentially, if Bo Bichette doesn't go to the Phillies. And my guess is he had basically pen to paper with the Phillies. Then once Kyle Tucker signed, and this is probably why he waited for Kyle Tucker to sign, because the Mets and Steve Cohen probably told Bo Bichette, hey, if Tucker doesn't sign with us, we are going to be able to give you a monster deal, and kind of put some of the money that they would have put into Kyle Tucker into Bo Bichette. And that's exactly what they did. So, I mean, I have to give the Mets props here. The Jays were never realistically going to match, I don't think, either one of these deals at this point. I would have been fine if they did match this deal. Like, I think it's a great deal for the Mets. You can call me crazy. Like, $40 million is a ton of money, but like, it's only a 3-year deal. There's opt-outs after year 1 and 2. I guess the nightmare scenario is where Bo Bichette has a horrible year and then they, he opts into the contract. But even then, like with Bo Bichette's back to ball skills, I don't see a world where he doesn't at least play to, $30 million value and then something like that. And we all know Steve Cohen doesn't care about that little bit of extra value that he's going to be losing. So I'm sad. I'm upset. I don't really know how to feel at this point. I mean, his numbers, like Bo Bichette's numbers are like I'm looking at it here now in the Savant. He has 36th percentile arm strength and first percentile outs above average. Will set a 36th percentile arm strength be enough to play third base? I don't know if the Mets care. I think, and clearly Bo Bichette kind of stings a little bit more. Bo Bichette was clearly willing to move positions, right? And I'm sure he would have played second base with the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, there was a report that dropped a couple hours ago. I was going to have a video out this morning, or this afternoon rather, maybe like tomorrow morning. Regardless, it doesn't matter now anyways, on how a report came out that Bo has some internal reservations about playing on the turf and how it, is affecting his body going forward. So maybe one of the reasons that he didn't want to return to Toronto was because of the fact that that turf, which I don't really understand, but again, he's gone to the Mets, folks, and now all signs point to, of course, Cody Bellinger and the Toronto Blue Jays. Mark Feinsand tweets with Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette off the market. Bellinger is now the top hitter. Now, I'll have a full video covering this, but you can see here from Joshua, I'm not entirely sure Bellinger is someone the Jays would target. Forcing Berger into a reduced role for Tucker made sense. I'm not sure they'll do that for a guy who had a 715 OPS on the road last year. I'm not saying that's who Bellinger is, but there's enough red flags there. Do you guys want to see the Jays pivot? I'm higher on Cody Bellinger than a lot of people. He's a fantastic defender. He's really, really good offensively. Yes, he was benefited by the short porch. He was once an MVP candidate with the Dodgers. I think he's a very good player. He's not Kyle Tucker, and he's certainly not Bo Bichette. Or I guess I could say that the other way around. Tucker's obviously a better player than Bo, but he is something. I do think adding a left-handed bat would make sense. Now, would that reduce the role of Berger? Like in theory, right? It would, because obviously at this point you have Okamoto at third. You put Berger, between right and third. You split time there. But I'm thinking of Cody Bellinger. You put him in left field, and then you trade Nathan Lucas, and he can just be your everyday left fielder. Now, obviously, naturally, it'll take some at bats away from guys like Santander and Addison Berger to a degree as well, because they got Okamoto. But I'm thinking of it as taking more of a, bat away from somebody like, Nathan Lucas or Davis Schneider, and he can also play a really good center field. So if Dalton Varsho leaves after the upcoming year, they can replace him in center field. I think the Jays are going to be very, 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 very in on Cody Bellinger. But either way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest, folks. Another nightmare day for the Toronto Blue Jays. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. You guys are
The baseball world can change in the blink of an eye. And for fans of the Toronto Blue Jays, the last 24 hours have felt less like a normal off-season update and more like a dramatic plot twist written by a mischievous storyteller. One moment hope was hanging in the air like a towering fly ball under stadium lights, and the next, it had vanished beyond the wall. Here on the Bluejays Report, we need to talk about a move that has left many fans stunned. Before we break this all down, make sure you like the video, share it with fellow Jays supporters, and subscribe to the Bluejays Report for the latest updates surrounding Toronto's rollercoaster off-season. Because what just happened may shape the entire direction of this franchise. According to reports from insiders including Ken Rosenthal, star infielder Bo Bichette is heading to the New York Mets on a staggering 3-year contract worth roughly $126 million. That works out to more than $40 million per season, a figure so enormous it practically echoes through the corridors of Major League Baseball. The deal reportedly includes opt-outs after the first 2 years and a full no-trade clause, meaning Bichette could easily return to free agency sooner than expected if he delivers a monster season. What makes this sting even more is the timing. The Mets had just missed out on superstar outfielder Kyle Tucker, and it appears the moment that door closed, another opened wide enough to pour mountains of cash toward Bichette. In a matter of hours, the Jays' potential plan to reshape their lineup vanished, leaving Toronto searching for answers while New York celebrated a blockbuster addition. Adding another twist to the story, reports suggest Bichette may even shift positions and spend time at third base in New York, a surprising development that has sparked debate across the league. It's a reminder that baseball rarely follows a predictable script. Sometimes the characters change roles just when you think you know the ending. For Toronto, attention now turns to the next chapter. Could another bat emerge as the new target? Names like Cody Bellinger may suddenly enter the conversation as the front office looks to steady the ship before the season approaches. If you're following every twist of this saga, stay locked in with the Bluejays Report. Like the video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for the next update. Because in baseball, the next headline is never far away, and sometimes redemption arrives when you least expect it.